All right, Danielle, I'm going to go back to you in a minute. Then I'm going to hit my big news today. Sharon, go ahead and bring it in. During that 3-minute break, we printed 5 mainstream news stories. I'm going to read these to you right now. Mail Online. Alert over jab for girls as 2 die following cervical cancer vaccination. That was just in trials in Europe. There's hundreds of these articles. The way they report on it is death here, death there. Hundreds dead. And thousands having autoimmune diseases. It is a live cancer virus. On the insert for Gardasil, it says it doesn't even protect you from cervical cancer. There are over 350 variants of it, and studies are out that having that virus then gives you more than a 70% reduction in not getting a whole class of fast-acting cancers. It's a buffer. You won't believe it until you all die of cancer. Fine, look, folks, a few decades ago, it was 5 or 6 vaccines they said were mandatory, and they'd lie about it and say it was. Then it was 30, now 40, now 50, now 60. These companies come in and lobby government, and they force you to take it. The same companies like Merck that gave you Vioxx, Bayer that knowingly shipped HIV and hepatitis out in Factor 8. Don't roll your eyes at me. Google it. During the break, we Googled Gardasil deaths. Thousands of articles. Here's another one. New York Daily News. My girl died as guinea pig for Gardasil. Ladies and gentlemen, Merck knew they had a vaccine 3 years ago in trials. I had doctors and scientists on that had killed a bunch of people in the trials. Just like they knew in 1981 that Prozac caused a 15 times fold increase in suicide in their tiny trials. And they covered it up, and now they have to put on the insert. It makes you kill people. And yourself. That's now on the insert. No more sucking your thumb and denying. Now, they knew they had a bad drug that had cost them billions of dollars, but when they pay off a governor like Rick Perry, and it came out that they gave to his campaign and everybody else who voted for it in the legislature, big scandal, when he makes it mandatory, quote, mandatory that schools try to push it on you, puts it on the mandatory list, then federal money for vaccine damage kicks in. So they can dump it on the market just like Bayer dumped Factor 8 on the market full of HIV. Just Google Factor 8 AIDS. Don't you deny me. Your family depends on this. Your children depend on this, listeners. My girl died as a guinea pig. Go put Gardasil deaths in on YouTube and watch all the local newscasts. Nationally, they won't put it on TV, but you'll see the girls, blood pouring out their eyes, their mouths, every orifice. It's like an Ebola death. Hell, don't believe me. Go ahead and murder your daughters. Maybe after your daughter dies, you'll listen to me. Go ahead, murder them. Or maybe after they're paralyzed in the hospital a few months. A lot of times they have a convulsion that night. You take them back to the doctor, and they go, oh, the vaccine didn't do it. I don't have any liability. These pimp doctors get $900 for the shots. That's why they tell people on Medicare and Medicaid it's the law, they got to take it, because they know they're getting a big piece of it. Those pimp doctors are getting about $300 cash. They can go buy hookers with that. They can go buy drugs with that. They can go buy golf course fees with that. You think they care about you? I'm sick of it. I'm not living in the middle of this eugenics pit anymore. Look at this. Let me tell you how evil the government is. New York Daily News admits they grab little black kids, CPS does, from their kids and test pesticides on them, chained down over 3 months till the black kid dies. That's your government. They take little kids and radiate them to death and poison them. This government is completely criminal. I'm risking my life bringing you this info. They don't control everything. See, that's why I'm on the radio. They can just sit there carrying out their evil and nobody prosecutes them. Here's another one. You think I'm joking? This is out of The Australian, biggest newspaper in Australia. It's also ABC News. Vioxx maker Merck and co. drew up doctor hit list. And it says doctors to be, quote, liquidated. And guess what? It just so turns out we did a database search. A bunch of doctors that were critical of them got their heads blown off. Oh, yeah, they really care about you and your family. Now, ma'am, I blew up at you because I'm worried about your family. I get angry, and I'm going to go to her in a minute, but I'm trying to explain this to you. The women, most of the women that die taking the Merck shot, take the second or third shot. I know you're saying they already got 5. No, they got other IQ reducers and cancer implantators. implantation operations put in them through the compartmentalized idiot that was lying saying take the shots. Okay? They haven't gotten the other 2 shots yet unless they've been back. That doctor needs to have complaints filed on him. That doctor, listen, for anybody that didn't believe me about this, I had the state's attorney on from Maryland a year and a half ago. It's up on YouTube. Because I saw him on CNN with drug dogs barking at children, 2,000 children lined up outside being forcibly injected in front of the courthouse in St. George County, Maryland. And I saw them there crying, saying, I don't want to take it, but it's the law, and crying. And I call him up and I get him on and I go, sir, you know there's a waiver for that and there's no law. It's a waiver for a regulation, so it's color of law. And he laughed on air and said, yeah, I don't even vaccinate my own kids. And I said, but you and the judge told him all, and the news told him it was the law. And he just said, well, look, there were waivers available. And I said, no, you were on the news saying it was mandatory. This is what these people do, so they can wear a suit and be fancy and have people kiss their butt in some courthouse. It's all about fake baloney. Well, I don't care about fake baloney. I'm going to tell the truth. Now, who's turned the mic on? You were talking about, Paul Hartman was talking to the doctor about his daughter and son, and the doctor told him the truth. They said, it's the law. I got to push him on you. But no, I don't even carry him in this office. See, the good news is we're starting to win this fight. When I had my first child, they tried to act like I was a cult member and talk to me weird. When I had my 3rd child a year ago, they were like, yeah, none of us take them now. Yeah, we know it's killing everybody, but we're not allowed to talk about it. Yeah. We just have to ask you. Yeah, don't take them. I don't take them. I didn't vaccinate my kids. I agree. You know, the nurses now, because they've seen enough people flopping around on the floor, blood pouring out when the black op gets run. And see, everybody just covers it up, and it's, well, there's a federal fund, pays that off, you know. That's how it is. Go ahead, tell folks what they said to you.
I just called up this pediatrician that I found just because I knew my present pediatrician probably was going to pressure me into vaccinating my son.
Yeah, they'll lie to you. They're scum.
I called her and wanted to get her stance on it. She just told me that she's required by law to offer them to me and suggest that I do it, but she says that she doesn't even carry them in her office because they go bad too quick, and that she won't pressure me into vaccinating.
There is no law to take them. You saw the mainstream news articles in Bloomberg about them mixing weaponized bird flu with the vaccines, and then they shipped it out and won't say what happened, and suddenly this new virus pops up, and they're saying they're getting ready for martial law in the fall. Whose comments on that?
It's just crazy, man. Something looks real shisty.
You work in this office. You know, I hired you because you were a board op up here at KLBJ and you worked at KI too and TV. You didn't believe a lot of the stuff when I first hired you. You've now seen me do the show. Now, is everything I talk about documented, even mainstream?
Oh yeah. I mean, you're kind of in disbelief until you see it, and even
I've got ABC News and the Australian with Vioxx maker Merck drew up Dr. Hit list.
It's like that one dude said, hidden in plain view, right?
It's totally everything. Exactly. Listen, folks, I can pull up New York Daily News, and then I had the local families on because social workers finally said we can't be part of this, where they would go grab little black kids and take them and chain them down and test pesticides on them and murder them. They murder children. I would be a weirdo if I wasn't upset about this. Folks, even if you're for vaccines, just find out there's no law. You got to take them. And then ask yourself why the news gets up and says it's the law. This is all color of law. It's just like even if you're for the global warming tax and you want to pay $2,800 a year just to start and you want all the jobs shut down and you think it's great, they didn't let Congress read it. Now, Danielle, I'm sorry. Now I haven't even covered the big news I said I would, but I'll do that in the final segment. The lines have been loaded the whole show, but... You know, this gets to me because I know they're a pack of liars. I know the cops are shooting themselves up. I mean, when I say they put cancer viruses in vaccines, it's been found everywhere. But does that answer your question, Danielle?
Yes. I read some articles about that Gardasil thing, and there are a couple of girls that died and were in critical condition.
Not a couple. No. The media does that as a tactic. I read that in an Army psych warfare document, British Army document from the 40s. When they're killing thousands, they'll only tell you about a couple of them. That creates the illusion it's only a few. Ma'am, it's mass death. It's not a couple.